right. Welcome into Panther Game Day. I'm here with Heber Springs coach Will Cox. Coach Cox, talk about practice this week for your team.
Yeah, I think we've had a really great week of practice. These guys have really, they've looked at, with the way these past 3 games have gone, understand how close we are, and so how much more important that is that we're getting more out of while we're on the field. We try to take the time off a little, as our practices haven't been as long this week. We spent more time, the total time is, because we're spending more time on film, more time on the board, more time meeting and lifting and that type stuff to really prepare our bodies for the grind. And so really intense practices while we're out there. Luckily, we've been blessed with a lot nicer weather this week than we've had, so that's helped as well. But the guys understand it's conference week, and so you can notice the kind of uptick in energy.
Is that one of the things you'll probably start doing with practices as you go after this season? Is just kind of maybe just tone down some of the more physical stuff as you get in that grind?
Yeah, I think you have to find that balance for sure. Right now, one of the things we're trying to do is not necessarily take off the physicality, but just take out the amount of hitting. So while we're out there, the guys are flying around, they're being physical, they're doing that because you don't want to train the wrong thing, but you might want almost a pitch count with them type thing. And so, but yeah, we want to be in this for the long haul, so we want to make sure we're staying fresh and that we're not wearing them out. And so making sure that, and that's kind of been our emphasis this week, on maximizing every minute we're out there.
And you had a chance to look back a little bit at the film last week against Harding. Another, was another close but heartbreaking loss. And you look at film this way or that way. But is there some stuff that stood out on film that you probably didn't notice some from during the game Friday that maybe the fans didn't see too?
Well, I think offensively, obviously offensively they had a great performance, put up a lot of points. Adam really took another step. I felt, throwing we all know he can throw the ball, we all know he can run. He really had a complete game on both aspects of those. But then you look at guys like a Nate Dearman, who came in and had a big time game for us, and really had played a real limited role in the first 2 weeks, and then comes in and starts and really has a big game for us up front. And the offensive line as a whole had a big game. And then there's certain things defensively that you just want to have back. We losing 2 of our starting DBs right around half with Nathan, and then Hunter Kent being out for about a quarter and a half hurt us on defense. And so just that, we're just, that makes it tough against a team like Harding, because you can't have a drop off on the back end. They're too talented. That quarterback's too talented. Their receivers are too talented, and so that hurt. And so, but we did see what we have depth wise, and we did see some guys come in. Harley Bresnahan came in and got some good reps for us. Levi had to move back to corner. He got some reps for us there. Dalton had to play safety for us and got reps there. And so kind of seeing what our guys are capable of, what positions they can shine, and what positions they might not have been ready for. And so, that obviously is going to alter your game plans going forward.
The first 2 weeks it was run. The passing game was kind of limited. And then last week, like you were talking about with Adam, that pass he put up to Try, that was a perfect pass, perfect pitch and catch. And it was great to see Try get back into it, to give you that deep threat that receiver-wise, that you seem to be lacking just a little bit. But he's
absolutely. Yeah, and that changes how defenses have to play us. Going into this week, defenses knew they had to stop the run against us. But when you got a guy like Try that can really extend the field, that changes, and you can't be rolling your safeties down right away. And so yeah, great seeing Try. Kind of mess with him a little bit because last year he had that 99-yarder, so he's not quite. Didn't quite match that this year, but he had 2. So
yeah, he came over 99 yards, but it took him 2. Yeah, right. And you seem to use Julio we saw a dimension of him last week offensively, where you used him a lot out of the backfield.
Yeah, they Coach Bishop and Coach Roberts had noticed just how their defense was playing to back out on that, and we like the numbers and we like the matchup, and any way you can get Julio in space, and he's a guy that. The more people try to tackle him, the less they want to tackle him. And so the more you can get him on those type guys and running downhill, we really like that matchup. And he's a football player and he can make plays. So just different ways to get him the ball.
And this week, or tonight actually, we get Lone Oak at home. And of course, we know about last year. It took 2 days and a couple of trips to Lone Oak to get the win. But talk about Lone Oak. They're coming off a big win against Newport last week. Talk about them a little bit.
Yeah, they're playing really confident right now. You know, they had a tough week 0 opponent or week 0 game with Carlisle. And they had a close one with Beebe that they lost in overtime, and then they played their best game yet against Newport last week and put up 49 on them. They're very athletic-wise. They're the typical Lone Oak. They've got some speedsters, guys that can take it to the house from anywhere on the field. They've got a quarterback that is a really talented kid. He can run it. He can throw it. He's a really good athlete. So defensively, it's about limiting the big plays and forcing them to try and drive the field, and get them off track on that regard. Offensively, you know, I feel like our offense is really rolling right now. They're starting to put everything together, and so just staying ahead of the chains with what we do. But you know, this is a good Lone Oak team. It's a team that returns 8 starters on offense and on defense. So it's a veteran team and it's a talented team.
Now we've had 3 weeks of conference or non-conference games involving conference teams. Obviously, Riverview, Southside, and the CAC are all 2-1. Talk about the conference in general now, 3 weeks into the season, before you start conference play, and how you feel you stack up against them.
I think it's going to be wide open this year. I think it's so hard to tell in our conference with non-conference schedule because the wide array of teams that are played are so drastic, and the talent level of different teams that our conference plays in non-conference it's just hard to read into it. You know, you got some really quality opponents, and you got some other teams that you just really don't know about. And so, but I think this is the most wide open it's been in a while. You got Lone Oak who's returning a lot. We're returning a lot. Stuttgart's always a tough team. Riverview is playing a lot better football this year. Mills is playing better football. Southside's always going to be tough. Bald Knob, it's just hard to tell right now where they're at because just opponent-wise, non-conference, it's hard really to gauge it. But it's gonna be wide open. And then on top of that, out of the 8 teams in our conference, 5 of them have new head coaches. So that adds another wrinkle and dynamic to it all. So it's gonna be a dogfight every week for sure.
All right, Coach, appreciate your time and good luck tonight.
Thank you. Go Panthers.